Hello and welcome back to Let's Play Lemmings, the No Pause Challenge. So yesterday I played through the fun levels, which were indeed fun, maybe a little bit tricky. Today I'm going to be playing the tricky levels, which should be tricky, but hopefully also fun. So the rank starts with, this should be a doddle. Something of a breather level, but I feel that's not a bad thing. I think it's quite good if the end of a category works up to a climax of difficulty and the start of the next one eases off a little. Especially because on the original game, the first level of each rank was unlocked from the start. Other levels you had to unlock by completing previous ones. So, Wheel Fall Down, it's the game's first repeat level, so just assign diggers left to right. This is how I do it. You can do it any other way, but the thing is, you're trying to assign digger to every lemming. Now, it doesn't actually matter if you miss one or two here and there, because each digger will gradually lower the terrain a little, and the lemmings can survive a fall from kind of midway through the block. It doesn't have to be from the very bottom. So, level 3, a ladder would be handy. So this is continuing the vein of pretty easy levels with 20 of everything. We're seeing a few more of those before we get into the start of the real puzzle levels. Let's just make that... Oh, I made the digger bash for a little and then continue digging, just in case the lemmings that were still falling out would have a problem. But as soon as I did that, there were no more falling out, so there was no point. Let's just patch this up completely. Now, one thing I'm going to do is have one of these guys dig and then bash there. That's because my climber can't actually climb up there. I'll have to make another builder to help him up. So the point of that little step is that the climber won't go up the left side and... Hang on, he isn't a climber. I managed to confuse myself. Well, he is now. Forgot that I haven't assigned climber to him yet, because of course in NeoLemmix both floaters and climbers get the special colour swap to show you that they're special lemmings. Okay, there we go. So, here's one I prepared earlier. This time we are going to start by making a climber. Do need to get through that one-way wall. So... dig there. Oh dear. Okay, I can still fix this. I know what I'll do. Oh, actually it's fixing itself. Because these lemmings can walk back up and get themselves stuck in there, so that's all good. So the reason I want him on his own is to build over all these gaps. I think maybe I didn't do a great job yesterday of explaining some of the levels, because I did go through some of the easy ones maybe a bit too fast, but there won't be as much of a problem with that here, because you can't go through all the levels that fast as they get more complicated. Careless clicking costs lives. Well, yes, that is indeed true. So the other thing to say about these 20 of everything levels, as they are usually referred to, Most of these will be repeated in the later ranks with fewer skills and tighter save requirements. And in fact, the harder versions were made first, and then the developers realised they didn't have enough easy levels, so they just made 20 of everything copies of all their hard levels. Okay, we're done with the building, so let's bash under the blocker. So that's another thing I didn't explain last time, as one of my viewers pointed out. Blockers will stay in place permanently unless you remove the ground under them. So that's the only way you can save a lemming who's been made a blocker. And since I am trying to save 100% where possible on these levels, that's what I'm doing. Be careful here, because don't want to get too trigger happy with my forward time skips, or I could end up losing that lemming off the bottom of the screen. To make everyone climber and floater. You can't do anything with the fact that you have 20 climbers and floaters on this level. You can't assign more than 5 of them. Okay, been there, seen there, done it. Okay, this one is tough. Well, especially for saving 100%. And this one does have a repeat that requires it. So I got a climber going the wrong way there, but I think this level does have enough builders that I can get away with what I just did. The taxing repeat of this one either won't have enough builders for that or won't have enough time. I'm not sure which of those is the problem, maybe both. And that one, the taxing repeat of this level was a level where I got stuck when I played this when I was a kid for, it might have been over a year between reaching that level and finally beating it. So the recommended way to get the lemmings out of the pit at the end is to mine down to release them with the last lemming out of the hatch, which obviously there were still lemmings coming out the hatch because I'd done this bridge and made everything take much longer. So that was on me for getting a lemming climbing the wrong way. Anyway, lemming sanctuary in sight. So this one breaks the norm. Instead of 20 of everything, it's just blockers and builders. That means that if we place any blockers, there's no way to save them, so I won't place any. Okay, that's patched up. And we have a bridge at the bottom there because of skill queuing again. I mentioned that twice yesterday and never really explained it. The idea is that if you assign a skill, only in NeoLemmix, by the way, not the original game. If you assign a skill when it's impossible for the lemming to receive that skill, he'll remember the assignment for half a second or so. It's meant to help with precision assignments, but sometimes it's a nuisance, especially for me now when I'm challenging myself not to use the backwards frame skip to cancel out mistakes. So they just keep on coming. This is an interesting level because there's 2 ways to go about it, right side or left side. Now when I was younger I always did this one on the right side, and its repeat version I thought had to be done on the left. That's wrong. Both versions of the level can be done either side. So just to make things a bit interesting, I'm going to do this one on the left side and the repeat on the right when it comes up. We also have a fairly low time limit, so I'm making sure that the crowd is starting to head out right about now. Yep, plenty of time. Okay, there's a lot of them about. So the repeat of this level is one of the levels that will Will made a video of for his no pause challenge. And the Mayhem repeat is fairly similar to the first version, but it has a much shorter time limit, so you can't multitask the way I'm doing it here. Other way round. You have to multitask. You can't do one side and then the other the way I'm doing it here. There we go. Okay, Lemmings in the attic should not give us too much trouble. Just build over this gap at the start. If I'd done those bridges more precisely, I wouldn't have needed the third builder. Now, I first make a lowered down bridge so that Lemmings don't splat from the upper bridge. There's my splat ruler. You can see that the top of the upper bridge is well above splat distance from the ground. Okay, bitter lemming. This will be interesting, trying to save 100%. So, everyone's got to float until the landing platform is ready, which it is now. Alternatively, you can make every single lemming a floater, and that is what I used to do when I was a kid. That was a fun way to do the level. I hope we'll get across that gap in time, but yeah, no problem really. Okay, lemming drops. This is a favourite level of mine and challenging to save 100%. So let's see how we do. Missed a click on that lemming. Okay, well then. No point in trying anymore. Don't build over the blocker, please. So one goes over the wall to make a landing stage for the others. There's lots of ways you can do this one. That's one thing that makes it quite interesting. I think the solution I found when I was younger is to go under the terrain here. You can also use builders only and use this area here to kind of turn around so as to build over the steel. Fun level for experimenting with multiple solutions. Okay, 97% saved. Oh well. So, Menacing, this is our second special graphics level. There's one of these in each category, and they all have graphics and music taken from other Psygnosis games, I believe. And they're all pretty simple because they all follow the that was careless of me. I mashed my time skip before checking whether I'd actually assigned the builder, so he started walking back to the left. Fortunately, it didn't cost me anything. Okay, now let's release everyone. Yeah, so all 4 of this special graphics levels follow the blocks of all skills pattern. Okay, here's our first limited skills level, and it's a bomber. Well, in the original game it was a bomber timing exercise, not so much in NeoLemmix. But the middle of Tricky has a few levels like this that are designed to test your timed bomber skills, even though you don't really need them again after this. I mean, there's a couple of levels later on in the game, but yeah, timed bombers are something that people remember a lot about Lemmings, but doesn't actually show up in that many levels. And not at all in NeoLemmix. Okay, back to the puzzly levels. So it's Lemming Entry Watson. So we only have a few skills here. So the solution is to dig. One lemming will get past the digger and he becomes a floater. Then bomb the digger. There is no way to save 100% on that one, at least no known solution. It's never been done. Okay, postcard from Lemmingland. This is one of my favourites. And it is difficult. So, let's see if I can manage this without pausing. So I'll wait for, let's say 5 lemmings to be out. I don't know what the right number is. Oh, well, that's not going to help. I clicked on the wrong... Oh wow, so that's my first actual restart. Not really surprising that it should be this level. Okay, so set the release rate to 99. Now, he's going to dig there. I bashed too soon. I think I was panicking a bit because I saw the other lemming coming up behind, and I wanted to vindicate my decision to only assign 2 climbers at the beginning. Okay. Now this time I counted how many pixels down he digs. It's 6. So the leader is going to build over the pit. Actually, all of the ones behind him will need to be climbers, and the hope is that it's not going to work. So the hope is that enough lemmings will go past the climber and up the stairs. So I'll try setting release rate to 99 when only 4 are out. See how well that works. I do have 6 spare climbers should I need them, and I will. Oh dear, maybe I've forgotten how to do this level. It's clear that adding up those and those, that's just more than 6. But if I'd put the release rate to 99 later... Oh, of course, it's obvious. Well, obvious when you have played enough Lemmings to kind of have this kind of... So, make the first Lemming the builder, and the second one does the digging and bashing. Now I won't need any more climbers at that end, and at the other end, still more than 5 there, so I should have put the release rate to 99 sooner. Okay, we've got this then. Yeah. This is, as you can see, this is quite a difficulty spike. It's pretty infamous for it. But I think we've got it now. Didn't even need any extra climbers at all, because he's already a climber. Whew! Okay, after that a much easier level, One Way Digging to Freedom. This is basically just a retread of the first One Way Wool introduction level. Do a little thing there. Oh, I haven't made him a float yet. I've got no, that's to stop him climbing over to the left, of course. No diggers left, so I'll use a miner for the turnaround. Bash through the wall, and that should be everyone saved. Okay, all the 6s. Very, very silly level here. Oh, that didn't quite work. Also, I'm going to do a thing here. I'm building, and I've mined through the bridge behind him. That's a well-known way to separate a lemming. Of course, if the bridge happens to be under the hatch, then... the hatch is covering up the builder bricks. That's not so good. The hatch has a property which you can set in the editor, which is no overwrite, that will prevent that happening. Okay, finally got one lemming on his own. What you saw just there was another instance of skill queuing. It kind of also applies when the Lemmings are already a builder and I assign builder, because that's an impossible assignment. Okay, that's extremely messy, but we did save everyone. Now, before going on to the next level, so I'm going back. So, NeoLemmix feature is that it has, I'm not sure if this will actually show up on the recording, but it has a menu that allows you to jump between level packs as much as you want. The reason I'm doing this here is that I want to show a level which was, so this one replaced Tricky 21 in the Macintosh version of Lemmings, and that's the version I grew up with, so I thought I should do this one as well. Also, this one makes for quite an interesting no pause challenge, so it's an unusual level. So one lemming, every lemming must either climb or float. The climbers can go to their exit unhindered, but the floater oh dear. Well, that's it. Yeah, the floaters need to do some building as well as just floating. So that would be difficult if the floaters were all together, so the solution is to bunch them out by making the first lemming a floater and he builds over the gaps. Watch carefully for when you need to change from assigning one thing to assigning another. So now I'm going to release straight 99 so I can get my floater assignments out of the way. And I'll just need to assign builders to this lemming and the one behind him, and then we're done. Phew. But yeah, that's a really nice level. I'm glad that one was included. I think it, well, so there are various theories about why all the sixes was replaced. I mean, some say it's censorship because, you know, number of the beast. But it's also not really a very interesting level because you get 66 of every skill and the terrain is so mundane. Going their separate ways is much more interesting. Anyway, turn around young lemmings. So, going to be trying to save 100% on this. That's a challenge. No. Okay, there's two different ways to do it. One is to rapidly assign builders earlier, so that oh, I actually did it. Okay, so what I was trying to do here was assign a builder, then have the next lemming step onto his bridge and build immediately. So there's a small, a too high vertical step at the very beginning of the bridge. And then a third lemming would be able to build at the base of that and would immediately turn around. And if you do that repeatedly, so you can get 3 lemmings facing the other direction, you can make a 3-builder wall going bottom right to upper left. And 3 builders conjoined like that is enough to hold all the lemmings back. And that would allow just 1 lemming to do these bridges here. That's the more effective, more efficient 100% solution. But that just doesn't work real time with no pausing. So I decided I'll opt for the more fun way of doing it. Of course, if you don't go for 100%, if you're just trying to pass the level, you just make a little pit with 2 bombers. It's much easier than all that nonsense. From the boundary line. Now this is another level where 100% is actually impossible, but I am going to try to save as many as I can. So the idea is we bash through the wall, and a lot of lemmings are going to turn around, but if the first one... Oh, nah, didn't work. So the first one should mine to the left. Now, because later lemmings have priority, there's just a tiny little space here. Ah, I totally missed it with all of them. Okay. This is not going to be a high save at all then. But yeah, when the lemming falls at the foot of the steps, there is just that tiny space in which you can select a left-facing lemming, because the right faces have all come out of the hatch later, and so they would have selection priority over him. And the miner going to the left, the other lemmings will turn around in his miner tunnel, or at least a lot of them will. So that's how you can save more than you're expected to there. Okay, tightrope city. So let our leader get quite a way ahead and then build over the blocker. I think it's... yeah, he's... oh dear. See, I'm failing quite a few of them now that the levels are getting harder. Also, I absolutely did not want to make the crowd as spaced out as they are. That was So once they start, once the bridge goes over the block, you can select a lemming that is that falls in between the blocker's feet to become a digger. So here I'm just not going to be able to save everyone. So what I should have done was have the crowd more compressed, and then they would all have been heading to the right while there were still lemmings coming out of the hatch. And then one coming out of the hatch would have been able to release this blocker while still facing to the right. Okay. Cascade. Okay, well, this is another one that is infamous because you only have to save 10 lemmings, but it is possible to save everyone, but it is extremely hard. So, about the third lemming should build here to turn around, and he's going to bridge that gap over there. Now we need to make... that didn't work at all. Oh well. I'll try this a few times. I might just go for a conventional solution. So another thing I'm going to do is highlight lemming with the second one. So I want to make the second one dig and then build immediately at a precise point. Which didn't work out at all. Okay, we're just doing the normal solution then. So normal solution is that the first one goes on ahead, and the last 9 are also floaters. I might come back to this as a bonus video, maybe, and try to do the 100% solution without pausing, but that would be extremely difficult. Okay, I have a cunning plan. This one does require 100%, and it's notorious. So, first lemming has to kind of get through the... well, that was a complete failure. So, first lemming has to get through the pillar. And in order to create enough space behind him, other lemmings should be assigned builders, but... Oh, I do actually have another... Well, I had another builder, but the game assigned it to the wrong lemming. Yeah, and I also had another basher, so I could have saved that lemming. So, oh no, so near and yet so far. Maybe this time. You only see that failure message when you were short by 1, so a lot of players of the original game never even knew it existed. Especially as the original game measured in percentages, so you had to be short by 1%, not just one lemming. This game is fun. I could mash space, but I feel like taking a little bit of a moment to get my breath back after that level. This one was also notorious as a difficulty spike just because of that crazy assignment that you have to do. It's not easy even with pausing. Island of the Wicked People is much nicer to the player. So I think, yeah, only one goes past that first digger. We have no floaters. Now I think... Ooh, I'm not sure he would survive from that route. He certainly will from the route below, so let's mine now. And he just catches the last pixel of that route. Okay, mine into the earth, so I'll have a little tunnel that will turn around even a climber. Mine down this side. Bash under the one-way, bash through the one-way wall. Might need to lower the tunnel a little bit, that's fine. Then we're building up to the exit. Okay, level 28, lost something. So the joke of this one is that there's no exit on the map, but of course the exit is just hidden and it's only in the most obvious place. This, however, this has inspired a lot of hidden exit levels in custom packs. And the community has kind of got a bit sick of them now and said, no more, hiding the exit is just not very cool anymore. Please don't do it. Rainbow Island. So, a little story about this one. I first played the game on a black and white Macintosh, and when we finally got a colour computer, I was a little bit disappointed when I played this level and realised that the arches are not, in fact, rainbow coloured. So this is a bit tricky because of all the fire traps. We want to avoid those, but we also want to avoid digging straight down the middle here because then that will be a splat fall for the rest of the lemmings coming from above. So that should be okay. And finally, the crankshaft. So this is a repeat of Origins and Lemmings, with the difference that we have no bashers, and that should be okay for me because I actually did the solution to this one when I was playing the fun version of the level. Little indentation there to turn my climbers back around. And time limit's relatively short, so I'll assign all 4 climbers straight off. But yeah, the The idea is to start mining to turn around another miner. Ooh, now that hasn't worked out. Can I rescue this? Yeah, of course I can, because I can make... Oh, that one wasn't a floater. Oh, never mind. Also, that's probably a 7 pixel step there, so even if I make a builder going the wrong direction, that'll be okay. There we go, yeah. Made a builder going the wrong direction, but the first brick of his bridge was enough for the other lemmings to get up. And let's just do this here to shorten his journey. Everyone can get to the exit now. And that was the tricky levels. A few hiccups here and there, but I did get through all 30 without ever pausing. So, see you next time for the taxing levels. Yeah, that's going to be fun. Thank you for watching.